Another man that has some terrible disadvantage, they told me, was Saluwa Dumego Juku. At the time, he became the richest man in Africa, the richest man in Nigeria. And when the Queen of England came before independence, it was his own car that was loaned, his own car that was borrowed. They asked his driver, the driver of Saluwa Dumego Juku, to ferry the Queen all over Lagos and everywhere the Queen wanted to get to at that time before independence. Here was a guy that had some business with John Holt. But at the time, he was having some disadvantages. He saw that he saw that business people were suffering so much in the transport sector. He decided to go in there, in that disadvantage, to bring an advantage. He brought about the first transport sector, the first registered transport company, organized by a Nigerian in the name of OTC, Ojukwu Transport Company. And because of that and involvement he had in business even abroad, he became the richest man in Africa. You can turn your own disadvantage to advantage. And somebody might rise up to tell us, because my father died while I was in school, I stopped school completely. What about a guy that never had the privilege even to go that high in school? I'm talking about a Nigerian known too well. You can't talk about the history of BMW cars and BMW Jeep without talking about this man. You can't talk about the 21 billionaires in Nigeria or in Africa without mentioning the name of this man. You can't talk about a success story in Nigeria without mentioning the name of this man. I'm talking about Dr. Cosmas Maduka, the owner and the chairman of Koscheri's Group. Maduka is controlling billions, but it is on record that his father died at the age of 7. The guy had it very difficult to dream about school. For him at that time when he lost his father, going to school was a mirage. But what he lost in school, he gained in the automobile world. Instead of wasting his time, he didn't know his country home. He decided to move to Lagos, a place he believed he would have some golden fleece. And indeed he got that. When he got there, he did the boy thing as an apprentice and came out as a success story. Today he's been celebrated. More than 20 universities around the world have been calling the man, come and take more doctorate degree. What you missed there, you can get somewhere else if you have the brains and the idea. You can't be so ugly like the president that ruled America between 1861 and 1865. I'm talking about the 16th president of the United States. His name Abraham Lincoln. That is an ugly man epitomized. History had it like that. But his ugliness never stopped him to be the greatest leader ever had in the history of the world. The man was tall. What the man lacked in being handsome, he made up in being a wonderful leader. And somebody will easily want to rely on the fact that he or she was a dropout. I can give you 30 names of people who were dropout who made it. If you are a young man, the name Mark Zuckerberg will surprise you. Mark Zuckerberg dropped in school because he found out he cannot cope. He decided to go for his business, and he came out today the richest young man on earth. He was a dropout. Another dropout is a multi-billionaire, and the man that is giving much more money to the WHO and charity organizations that's been sponsored by United Nations organization. His name is Bill Gates. Bill and his wife Melinda Gates, they've given so much money to better the lots of the people on earth. Yet he was a dropout. Another person might say, I am a woman and I don't have a name of a woman that dropped out from school, yet she made it. I'll give you the name of the American woman that's the greatest in the world. If you talk about cosmetics, the name Mrs. Mary Kay. Mary Kay was a dropout in secondary school equivalent. And Mary Kay was able to fix a lot of things that you can't talk about qualitative cosmetics around the whole world. Globally speaking, she's number one. Mary Kay products. They are still leading the cosmetic industry. So you have no reason whatsoever not to make it. Even as a dropout. Even as a failure in school. Even as a former prostitute. You can repent and begin to do some certain things. Even as a former armed robber. Even as a former drug addict. There are people who were deep in drugs. But today they have changed their fortunes. Nothing should sit you back there. To tell you in your face you cannot make it. I'm here to challenge you. Every disability inside of you, you can turn to an ability. Somebody can say, I'm here on a wheel seat and nobody to help me. You can help yourself. The fact that you're on a wheel seat gives you the opportunity to sit down and read and make more research. People who have legs will waste their times in so many things. But you can sit down at a quiet corner and bring about some innovation that will add value to the earth. You can make it. Somebody will say, is it because I'm blind? And they will tell you so many reasons why a blind man cannot make it. You ask the person who say, I'm a beggar because I can't help it. I'm a beggar because I'm blind. But my friend, I want to remind you, the story of Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder stands out to challenge you. If you are blind, you can do so many things. Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles did so many things that today you can't talk about music in our generation without mentioning these two names. Ray Charles died a multi-millionaire. Stevie Wonder is still alive and is waxing strong, going around the US and still staging music and collecting his money. And somebody will relax and say, because he's blind, because she's blind, nobody can help her. I will remember vividly some years back, about 6 years ago, I was an MC. They invited me to do MC in a wedding ceremony. And when I came there, it was to my chagrin. I saw a beautiful young lady, but behold, she cannot walk. She was suspended on a wheel seat. She was the celebrant. The husband also a medical doctor. She was working in NMPC. But they told me she was the best brain in her school, in her department, just some years back. And because she had something she could add to make people's life better, I was not surprised. A medical doctor came to marry her on wheel seat. If you can distinguish yourself, not minding the problems surrounding you, you'll be celebrated. You'll become a winner. You have chances to become a winner. You have chances to rewrite the history concerning your family. Whether your father has not made it, whether your mother has not made it, it is your time. And this is a year for you to rise up and make it. Just have your dreams right. Have your mindset straight. Change the pattern and things that are telling you cannot make it. And begin to assure yourself you can make it. Wake up every day, look at yourself in the mirror. Assure yourself you are the best things God has created. You are the best person God has created. You have the greater capacity more than any other person else. Don't boast about it, but remind yourself this will give an inner assurance and power, the fiber to stand up and fight and become the great person God created to bring about an innovation. Guinness Book of Record is still open. You can do something in your time and in your generation. The world is watching you. Don't go down.